Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'd like to show you the Hisense A6L, which is a dual screen smartphone. So first we'll check out the box, even if it's not really an unboxing, as I've been using the phone for a few months now. Then I will show you the phone itself and how the e-ink screen is interfaced with the Android system. So let's get started. The box itself looks good. It's like most of the premium smartphones. You have the pin for the SD card. Inside you also have a protection, which actually does not look like this because it felt very bulky because it had a front cover. So I just removed it and opened the frame because the phone felt very big. This is actually the biggest phone I ever got, and it's even bigger than Honor View 20 that I'm using now for taking the video. Um, so yeah, for the case. Inside you also have a bunch of documentation in Chinese, because currently this phone can be only purchased in mainland China, which means that you will not have Google certification and Google applications on this device. Um, and then you have USB charger, audio, earphones, charger, which is Chinese style, as the phone comes from China. So yeah, the box is pretty standard, but the phone itself has some yeah, speciality. So let's have a look at first the outside of the phone. So basically, it's a nice looking device, which is just a premium smartphone, because as you can see, it's like it feels very good. The design is very good. Actually, it has an aluminum frame. The glass on the front is 2.5D. You see it's rounded, and on the back it's actually not rounded, because here on the e-ink screen it's a glossy screen, and but on the box you should have a cover, a screen protection, which is matte glass with 2.5D rounded corners. So when you apply it, it should actually have 2.5 corners. So you have on the phone, you have a dual camera, which we'll review after. The speaker here on the front, you also have a speaker on the top here. USB-C charger. This is the speaker output, and on the side you have here the slot for the SD card and SIM card. Volume buttons. This is the e-ink power button, which can also have some specific functions when you are using the front screen. This is the fingerprint sensor, the main power button, which unlocks the front screen, and so the other button unlocks the back screen. And this is a fingerprint sensor. So the fingerprint sensor is nice because you can configure which finger will unlock which screen. So for instance, when I hold the phone on my right hand, it will be my right thumb which is touching the sensor. So it will. So I set it up such that the right thumb will unlock the front screen. And as you can see, if I have the phone on my on the e-ink face, then it will be my four fingers, and middle fingers will touch the sensor, so they will unlock the e-ink screen. So that's pretty much it for the exterior. So now we'll have a look at the software. So inside you have Android 9, which is actually yeah, pretty much the same as on all current smartphones. There are a few things, because this is the Hisense version of Android, so, and it does not comply with the Google certification, so they made some modifications. So for example, on usually on Google certified devices, when you swipe to the left, you have Google News here, and here, as you can see, it's not Google News, it's HiSmart, which is like well, Hisense version of car finding services, express services, and the usual kind of bloatware that you can find on such devices. So, as I told you, this phone is actually not available in other countries than China, so you will not be able to install Google applications on this device. Um, but you have other kind of application store which you can use to install pretty much any applications. So the processor here is the Snapdragon 660, which is which is powerful enough for pretty much anything. I tried some mobile games like Mobile Legend and other demanding games, and they were working pretty well. Um, so on the Android side, there isn't much to tell, but we can have a look at the camera. Is actually the camera is actually pretty good. The video and the photos are good. They are almost as good as my Honor View 20, which I'm currently using for the video. It's not, I would say it's not exactly as good, but because the autofocus sometimes have some trouble adjusting, but it's not much issue. It's just a little bit less good than the Honor phone. But besides that, the picture quality is usually very good, and you have different kind of settings that you can use. You have an ultra wide camera. Um, then you have video. This is like something which is an image analyzer, but it doesn't work so well. And then you have different modes that I'm not using very much, but it's like when you want to add some faces or things on people. Yeah, maybe I can just show you how it works on my face here. I look very smart. And panorama mode also, I tried it. It works well, and the camera and the panorama are looking very good, so it's pretty nice. So yeah, that's it for the camera. I don't know the exact spec of the dual cameras, but the quality is very nice, and you can make almost professional videos with this kind of phone. So this is nice. So now we'll check the settings, but just before going into the settings and seeing all the ink screen, I'd like to sponsor this video by myself. Um, Actually, I'm a product designer, and I do also electronic development, and I'm currently working on a dual screen smartphone also, which will have an LCD and an e-ink screen, like this Hisense phone. But the main specificity of this phone will be the size, because I have a feeling that the phones are getting so big that you just can't put them in your pocket, and it's not easy to use them with one hand. You see, it's difficult to hold and so on. And with current modern LCD, you can have almost bezel-free designs with actually big screens. So we could have very small phones. So we could have a phone which is the size of an iPhone 4, but with the screen of an iPhone 8. So the screen on the iPhone 8 was big enough, I felt. So I don't know why all the manufacturers are made like very huge screens. But so I decided to launch this project because a lot of other people told me they don't like very big screens. So, well, this is it. You can check it on onedevice.eu. I will put the link in the description. And for this project to happen, we have to reach a lot of people. So if you like this project, please subscribe on the newsletter. It will let us know how many people are interested, and then we will be able to launch the project on Kickstarter. So okay, let's go on the e-ink settings now. So the settings by themselves have few modifications by Hisense, such as here you can see you have a AI interaction tab, which is also things that are not so useful, like it's the usual bloatware that no one uses but that manufacturer keep adding. So besides that, you have a few customization, but the main thing that is interesting for us is the e-ink settings. So the e-ink settings, it will show all the different things you can do. The first thing is the lock screen. You actually cannot customize the lock screen so much. You can just choose between 4 different styles, which you cannot customize. You cannot add widgets or these kind of things, and the customization is very limited. So this is for the lock screen. Then you have lock screen time, lock screen bind display time. So this is bind, it show a picture after the device ran out of energy. So it's good if you want to have a picture of a map or something like this on the e-ink screen, because it doesn't need any energy to sustain. And then the most important things are actually this. This is the mod that you will use on the e-ink screen. So you have either a conventional desktop or you have a special e-ink screen launcher. So you can choose between those two and we'll check them out. And you also have e-ink screen display style, which you can choose between a white style and a black style. And so it's like a dark mode for the screen. Another thing which is pretty important is the application display mode. So actually for every application you can choose between clarity and a high refresh rate. So depending on the application, if it's a video, for example, you want a very high refresh rate, even if it's not very sharp. But for something like a map, you prefer that it's very sharp. So for different application, you can choose if you want sharpness or if you want faster refresh rate. Okay, so now let's go to the e-ink screen. So it will open up the application we were using on the front screen, and then you can see here it's actually the conventional desktop. So it's the same as I have on the LCD, but it's just that you don't have the background, because the wallpaper doesn't look good on e-ink, so they just remove it. But besides that, it's actually the same. You see I have the same applications, and it works the same. So for instance, if we want to look again at the one device, which is a great project, and then you can do pretty much anything you would on the normal LCD screen. And then we'll go back to the settings, to the e-ink settings, and I will show you the special e-ink launcher. So we go here, ink mode, we select the e-ink screen launcher, and then you will see it changes the launcher. So now we have a special launcher for e-ink, which is made of different panels, and you can see the different panels. You can customize them to add widgets and so on. So here, for example, on this widget, on this panel, I added some widgets. So we'll just delete this panel and create a new one just to show you how it works. So you click here, you click new panel, and then here you have list of things you can add on your panel. Bookshelf is like for e-readers, but on this phone it's only Chinese applications, so it's not very convenient, but I will show you those later. You can see you can select the size of the widget. So we'll say take 2 rows. We want calendar here, and then you can add other widget. So add widget, and then you can add this. This is actually shortcuts for applications. So you can add different applications. and then you can start them from here directly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can also add, so those are e-ink widgets, but you can also get all the Android widgets which are in other widgets. So if you go to other widgets, then you have the different WhatsApp widget, for example, and so on. So those are widgets which are made by other applications for the LCD screen, but you also can add them on the e-ink screen. So yeah, that's basically it. I can just show you the white mode. So if we go back to the settings, you select white style, it will just change the display type. And also, yeah, something very nice with the A6L is that you can change you have a front light on this e-ink screen. So it's like on the Kindle Paperwhite, for example. So if you turn it off, then it's like paper. It's a reflective display. It doesn't emit any light. But if you want to read in the dark, for example, you can turn on the front light. So the front light is actually light that comes from the side and reflect on the screen. So it's pretty nice to have this feature, I think. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, Pretty much it. And the last thing I want to show you is the e-readers application. So here it's a Chinese e-reader application, which is called just Reader. And so it's not very convenient for European because you see everything is in Chinese. So you have to learn where to find your ebooks. So for this one, you click here and then you have the books that you already opened. So for example, here I have my ebook, and you can read. It's pretty nice. You can also use other application for reading. For example, if I downloaded Read Era, which is a famous application on Google Store. So if I add it, what is happening? Then I can open it and it will also work. So you can add other e-reader applications, and it will just this one, for instance, it's not very well adapted for e-ink because you have actually swiping animations, where for the e-ink it would be better if it just changed the frame directly. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this phone. And one last thing is that, as I told you, this phone is currently sold only in China. So it does not support Google certification and Google applications. But maybe you saw that I actually have here the Google applications. And that's actually because this device has been sent to me by because I'm discussing with Hisense, and I've been discussing with them about an international version, and they actually told me that they would agree to make an international version if we can order 10,000 of devices. So 10,000 sounds like a lot, but at the same time, it's not so much. So if you would be interested to get this phone in an international version, meaning without all the bloatware and without and like just a stock Android and with Google applications pre-installed, then it's possible if we find enough people interested. So if you're interested, I will leave a link in the description of the video where you will be able to subscribe your email address. And if we reach enough people, then we'll just be able to order from Hisense an international version. So, well, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, I wish you a great day. Bye.